up, Taiwan? I'm Yvonne with news from here in Taiwan and around the world. Taiwan has been racing to expand its drone capabilities, drawing lessons from the war in Ukraine as it shifts toward a more asymmetric defense strategy. But lawmakers remain divided over how much to invest in drone procurement. As Alan Liu reports, a key spending bill could go to a vote as soon as Friday.
Recent military exercises feature more drone drills along Taiwan's south coast, centering the growing role of uncrewed systems in the country's defense. But in the capital, debate continues over extra funding for purchasing drones and their components. The cabinet has proposed a special budget of up to about $6.6 billion, covering funding from this year to the end of 2031. The package would aim to finance 210,000 uncrewed systems, ranging from coastal surveillance and attack drones to uncrewed suicide boats. The ruling Democratic Progressive Party says providing the funding upfront provides stability for suppliers.
行政院版它是一次编列，逐年采购执行，这样子才能让业者愿意投资建制产线。我们要的不只是大单，而且是长单。
The main opposition Kuomintang has proposed spending around $7.5 billion over 6 years, with $1.2 billion allocated through the annual general budget, allowing the legislature to review and oversee the spending every year. The KMT says that special budgets should not become the norm. The smaller Taiwan People's Party has also raised concerns following recent controversies over military contractors reportedly using Chinese-made components.
我们的国防部也口口声声说要打造非红的供应链，但问题是，为什么相关的弊案层出不穷？
China dominates the global drone industry, but Taiwan has been working with democratic partners to build a supply chain of its own, as it faces increasing military pressure from China. The military says it is no longer working with the contractor accused of concealing China-made parts in its drones. But some experts say the case highlights challenges in verifying the origin of components used in Taiwan's drone supply chain.
那谁来执行所谓的第三方验证？这件事情其实在前面就要做，而不是到后面验收才执行。我觉得这个是目前台湾，我觉得不管是业者，不管是政府，都应该要尽快去处理的。
The bill is still under cross-party negotiations. But with no consensus in sight, it could be tricky for a final vote to pass the legislature on Friday. Fu Huahong and Anna Lu for TaiwanPlus.
A biannual U.S.-South Korea joint military exercise has been canceled, according to the South Korean military. The Twin Dragons exercise was originally set for September, but the U.S. pulled out amid the ongoing conflict in the Middle East. This comes soon after U.S. President Donald Trump ordered another joint U.S.-South Korea drill cut short from its usual 11 days to just 5. Many saw that move as a gesture to appease North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. For more on this, our reporter Larry Isiano spoke to defense expert Bryce Barrows from the Institute for National Defense and Security Research.
This is now the second U.S.-South Korean military exercise to be either shortened or canceled entirely. What signal do you think this sends?
I think it sends a few different messages. One, I think it does call into question broader sort of U.S. commitment in the region. Given President Lee's administration's focus on wanting to lessen dependence on the United States and make South Korea much more self-reliant, there is a very strong overlap on some of the model ally sort of rhetoric you'd hear from DC, as well as South Korea just kind of wanting to move away, especially under a South Korean progressive administration, towards more defense self-reliance or defense autonomy.
The reason why this exercise was canceled was due to U.S. commitments in the Middle East and the ongoing war with Iran. What do you think this tells allies and potential adversaries?
When you think about deterrence, Americans, I want to emphasize, this is the way that Americans view it, think of the 3 C's, right? So capability, credibility, and communication. And you're communicating that you're downgrading some of the capabilities, which impacts the credibility to do something, or the calculation in the mind of an enemy or an or potential adversary that the US is going to do something to change your calculus, right? And I think when you kind of put that all together, it's a little bit, it's very direct. It shows the United States is more focused on the Middle East, and that doesn't help with the credibility of deterrence here in the Indo-Pacific, broadly speaking.
If you were a military strategist or a leader here in Taiwan, what would you think about the situation?
I don't think it's a major concern, but I think it could become a major concern, and that policymakers here need to watch an eye out for this. It's something that people in Taiwan need to pay attention to for a couple of reasons. One, it does impact indirectly Taiwan's security because all the U.S. bases and facilities within the region are interconnected. You can't just take South Korea as a node out of the Indo-Pacific for U.S. basing and not have second and third order effects on different sort of Indo-Pacific contingencies. I do think it matters to Taipei. I think we need to see what happens with more exercises. What does the exercise season for 2027 look like? We're already getting to the tail end of 2026. Is there a reduction of forces for Bacaladan? Other sort of regional conflicts if an Iran situation continues to last beyond what it is now.
Those price barrels from INDSR. A top think tank in Taiwan says overall business sentiment has improved as strong AI exports spilled into the construction and manufacturing sectors.
在整体的营造业，那么因为在这个科技产业，特别是 AI 以及相关的半导体业的部分，它对于在厂房这一块的一个改造的一个新建，那么整体的热度是非常高的。
The Taiwan Institute of Economic Research says its construction indicator rose, driven by strong demand from the booming tech sector. Exports grew by more than 30% in July from a year earlier. For traditional industries such as machinery and electrical goods, exports were also up. But sentiment remains weak among car and motorcycle manufacturers. The services sector also declined. Looking ahead, TIRA says financial market volatility and geopolitical uncertainty remain key risks. The Premier has blocked amendments to the country's Radio and Television Act. The opposition-held legislature passed the bill earlier this month, relaxing restrictions that ban the government, military, political parties, and their affiliates from investing in cable TV operators. A cabinet spokesperson says the changes could be unconstitutional. This is the 8th bill the Premier has blocked since December by refusing to countersign, an approach that had never been used before. Relentless rains continue to batter Taiwan, forcing school and work closures and causing hundreds of thousands of dollars of agricultural damage. With more rain and a typhoon forecast, the country's south and east are facing a dangerous week ahead. Reese Ayers reports.
A car dangles precariously over a steep mountain slope in Tainan. The road beneath it almost completely swept away by the rain. Its driver lucky to escape. Elsewhere, a boat has been brought in to rescue an older person from their home, stranded by murky waters. Taiwan is struggling to cope with the constant downpour. Days of persistent rainfall are causing widespread flooding and damage across much of the country. Classes and work are cancelled for districts across the south and east as yet more rain is forecast, on top of already record-breaking rains.
在楠梓区的高雄站，这个是破了历史的纪录，测达567毫米。那累计3天的降雨量是913毫米。
In Yunlin in central Taiwan, farmers rush to harvest vegetables before they drown in floodwaters. Taiwan's agriculture ministry estimates damages to crops and livestock has already exceeded $300,000. In Tainan, entire fields of melons and asparagus could be lost. The area has been designated as an agricultural disaster zone and will receive fiscal support from the government. Premier Zhou Rongtai went south to inspect the damage, saying help is on the way.
今年中央政府的总预算虽然延了300多天，现在也已经审议完成，我们就可以齐步向前走。
There are fears the floodwaters may now have claimed a life. One man is missing after being swept under a bridge on his bicycle. With more rain and a typhoon expected later in the week, people across the country are doing what they can to deal with the damage and prepare for more. John Su and Rees for TaiwanPlus.
A major fire broke out on Monday night at a historic Taipei temple dating back to 1890. Dozens of fire engines and more than 100 firefighters spent around 4 hours extinguishing the flames at Zhinan Temple. No injuries were reported, and investigators are still probing the cause. Taipei Mayor Jiang Wan-an says the city government will help speed up the restoration process. The site is a Taoist temple in the mountains in southeastern Taipei. Melbourne-born Tim Cole built an award-winning career as a music producer and video director, working on projects across Europe, the United States, and Asia. But during the pandemic, he and his Taiwanese wife decided to relocate to her hometown in Nantou, where Cole now collaborates with Taiwanese Indigenous singers. In part 1 of this episode of Hakka TV's Home Sweet Home, we follow the couple as they share island voices with the world.
In the mornings when I wake up, that's when the ideas, for some reason I'm a morning person, and the task at hand, making a new video clip, a music video, how to set up the cameras, what ideas, creativity is sprouting in the morning, just like our plants here. So I'm just writing down ideas and particularly writing. There's a lot of writing in this work, scripts and copy and writing things. And this is where we imagine, the concert we're going to do, the ideas for the visuals. Yeah, this is the daydreaming time. Hi, I'm Tim Cole, and I'm standing here right in the heart of Taiwan. So beautiful, and I'm happy to be here in Nantou. I'm originally from Australia, from a little suburb called Frankston on the outskirts of Melbourne. And I met a beautiful person from Taiwan, Babao Chen, and we got married, and we've been traveling around the Indian and the Pacific Ocean, meeting incredible musicians and making music films and a concert and music albums. And we live here in the heart of Taiwan and produce and make this music and tour the world with it.
你看我们的，这是我爸妈的房子，然后我们家在这边，然后这个是我爸妈跟我们家中间就是一个菜园，然后这里是 Tim 的厨房，我等一下叫他自己来讲，因为他很喜欢煮菜，都是他在这边煮菜。然后这边是我们的室外的浴室，你可以下来这边，我们都在这边泡澡。这是我们的厕所，因为我们的邻居就是香蕉树，所以不怕会看到。我还记得那时候，疫情刚开始，我们就是从国外回来，然后我们本来都是住在我爸妈的小和室打地铺，然后有一天我爸就问我说：“哎，你要不要有自己的房子？”后来就选定在这边，大概2个星期就我爸啊、我弟啊一起帮我们把这个房子盖好。OK， 听听。他在工作。我的桌子在这边，然后这就基本上我工作的地方，我就坐在这边。然后，这边是我们就是过去小岛大哥参与的一些提案啊、展会啊、纪录片影展啊、音乐节表演，就是各式各样的都有。然后这是我们今年金曲奖入围的奖牌。
So we're working at the moment, we're preparing for some live concerts in Taiwan we're really excited about. Some shows in Taidong and at Cloudgate Theatre in Taipei. It's just amazing. We're going to be doing a show in there. So we're putting together some of the live footage from our concert tour across America, which was like 4 months to 24 different performing arts centres, and so we can show some of the live, what the concert's like. Yeah, so I'm working on a song called Gasikara. Yeah, and I love this part coming up. Let's see if I can make it play better. Yeah, I love the way the musicians work together. Salalui, Butard. So all this version grew from while we were touring around. Yeah, so on the tour, and we'll be bringing the same musicians to Taiwan and to Taipei. We all met each other doing the recording for our latest album, Our Island, which we all done during the pandemic. And so this is where Babo and I were sitting and in Zoom meetings, meeting everyone and coming up with the ideas. And this is where I sit and mix the music together and make all the videos. We're really trying to create a relationship of the music and the films to nature. We work with musicians who carry the story of the country, of the land where they're from, in the language they sing, what they sing about, the instruments they play, traditional instruments that have been shaped by living with nature. I think I've always had maybe an artist's heart, because it never really quite made sense to me to just follow money for money's sake. Like, I'd love to be wealthy, but it really has to have meaning for me, and so I really always just followed my heart. And when I was like 16, 17, that's what I wanted to do, but there were no pathways to do that. And I just jumped into it. I joined a band, I bought this synthesizer. The band started playing at venues in Melbourne, and I was singing, and I learned how to do sound so I could make myself sing better. Then all my friends said, oh, you can do our mixing and record our music because you've done the course. So I started doing that, and then I passed my certificate and got into Melbourne University, doing film, media studies and learning filmmaking. And so I just wove all that together, the filmmaking and the music, I was all together, and I've just always followed that path as a freelance artist, to here. So the song builds. This is Salalui calling out in this chant, and the different musicians come in. This is Emlyn from Mauritius calling back across the ocean from her island. And then also Putard from the Amis heritage here in Taiwan. She plays bass on it. So as the song builds, more and more musicians are called in. I'll go towards the end. And all the different instruments. There's from Papua New Guinea, Richard Mogu plays this kukumba flute, which is from the highlands of Papua New Guinea. I think it's just about to come in. How I came to be working on these cross-cultural music projects with Indigenous artists, and just happened, you know, this musician Archie Roach, needed someone to do his mixing, and I went to mix Archie Roach, and he happened to be Aboriginal. And then I went to Papua New Guinea on my first trip outside of Australia with an Australian band called Not Drowning Waving, and we spent 2 months in Papua New Guinea. And that really sort of shifted my perspective, and I really could respect that this Papua New Guinean music had this heritage that had come through. The instruments and the languages were so different to mine, that had been shaped, you know, from their culture. I love those two things of working with a craft, with working with musicians and producing music and film and videos, as well as working with musicians that carry this depth of cultural perspective. I loved working in that area, and naturally I just kept getting offered more and more jobs.
这个 MS-20 是 Tim 他人生买的第一个乐器，然后我们刚从澳洲他妈妈的车库里面搬来台湾，就前几个月而已。然后我们的专辑里面有一首歌，就是 Tim 用这个 MS-20 去作曲，然后后来普塔小廖律他们有再加他们的人声在上面。
Yeah, I'll put it in the music. Work of art. Isn't that amazing?
因为 Tim 他就是会有一些很多的点子，然后很多的，但是他有很多就是实际面上面很厉害的地方，就他可以就带着一个行李箱就到处录音，很多人其实没有办法做到这样。其实我觉得，如果今天是一个影像制作公司或是唱片公司在做这个计划的话，他们可能没有办法像我们走到那么多地方，或者说和那么多的人合作，因为两个人的机动性就是很高。我们两个人在遇见之前，我们都是很喜欢自己一个人，就是到处背包旅行啊，世界各地这样跑。然后就也很神奇，就是我们两个人遇见彼此之后，我们又很合得来，然后就从来没有再分开，到哪里都是一起。
So 10 years ago.
Actually, what day is today?
The 2nd.
No, the 3rd. Today's our anniversary.
Today is our anniversary. All right.
Really?
Yeah, I knew that. It's
no,
the 3rd.
We didn't plan this.
No.
That was part 1 of Tim Cole's story. Stay tuned tomorrow for part 2. You can find more episodes of Home Sweet Home on Hakka TV's YouTube channel. A Taiwanese VR experience that won top honors at the Venice Film Festival is now showing in Taipei, bringing local history and forest ecosystems to life. Reese Ayers is back with this report.
Grief, nature, and tech intersect in a new experience exploring Taiwan's lost clouded leopards and indigenous myths. Adapted from Wu Ming-yi's short story The Clouds Are 2,000 Meters Up, the inventive work recently took top honors at the Venice Film Festival. Now in Taipei, director Singing Chen's immersive experience lets viewers step directly into the protagonist's subconscious as he navigates the loss of his wife, using pioneering digital techniques to bring Taiwan's landscapes to life.
它比传统拍传统电影的困难大概有100倍。对，因为它不是一般拍摄，它是所有的人物，包含墨子仪这些角色都是用扫描的，然后所有的物件也都是扫描的。所以这2年的时间，这个技术非常的新，所以团队等于说是走在世界很前端的部分。
That technical push created a vivid virtual world that resonated with international audiences.
我们在国外，不管是威尼斯影展或其他影展的时候，其实很多观众看完以后都会说：“哎，这个森林在哪里？”他很想要来台湾体验台湾的2000米的这个云雾带的一个森林，这样。
VR is often used as a tool to help us escape from reality, but the creators here are using these new tech tools to help ground us in Taiwan's history, environment, and cultural heritage.
That cultural discovery takes place in virtual spaces that feel like living history archives.
因为它里面也是有很多标本嘛，像是云豹的标本，那这边就有点像是那种研究标本的研究员的私人的小房间的感觉。
Beyond the VR, history comes off the screen. Spanning 3 floors, the exhibition pairs interactive experiences with real-world archives. Following an international festival run, the joint production with Taiwan's public television service shows how digital tools offer new ways to appreciate literature and preserve culture. Alex Chen, Devon Tai and Rees for TaiwanPlus.
Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. Finally, we leave you with images of the Eiffel Tower lit up in blue and yellow to mark Ukraine's 35th Independence Day. I'm Yvonne. Take care, and I'll see you next time.